This is my 2018 Sundolphin Sportsman. The first thing I want to say about this boat is it is great. If you are stuck on the bank and you see somewhere that you can't get to walking, this is a very cost-effective way of getting there. But the first thing I want to talk about, a lot of people say that they'll take on water in the seal, and this is a 2018, like I said, but mine has rivets, a few, not many, but a few, and so I took Flex Seal and Flex Sealed all around here, all the way around, and this back part, I always knew I was going to have two motors, so I really caked it on back here. I did the bottom and the top just to make sure that and I've never taken on water on the inside of the boat in the shell, but I think that really helped. That was the first thing I did when I got it, watching other videos. But I did make a little deck for myself, and it worked good. But I got caught in the rain, and I took on a lot of water. And when I opened the little door up, it was just full of water, and I had a whole bunch of brand new lures in there. But so I just be aware of what you put down there if you do plan on making a little deck. And last year I was real apprehensive about putting holes in the boat, so I got a lot of these. Got a few of those rod holders, and I made myself a transducer arm, and I made this kayak like little crate, and it worked well, don't get me wrong, but I just found, like, on windy days when I had my net up and a few poles back there, it tended to move the boat a little more, so I kind of got away from that. And the deck, it was okay, don't get me wrong, but I got a lot of stuff on here as it is, so I just figured, I mean, it comes in handy, but I can live without it. And the rod holders, the reason that I really got away from those is because they tend to turn and they'll bend. I caught a decent catfish last year and it bent it. I almost lost my pole, so that was it for that. But this year, oh, well, let me talk about this motor first. I have a Hankai 3.5 motor, and it never made it to the water. The first thing that happened, I was breaking it in, and this whole bottom section just fell into the bucket. So if I would have been on the water, I'd have lost the whole bottom. So I would not recommend breaking it in on the water. At least at first, make sure you tighten everything down. But then as I was breaking it in the bucket, it must have had a hairline fracture back here, because the whole head just popped off. And I got it welded back, and then the motor still starts, but now the prop won't turn. So I thought maybe if I filed this down, maybe it wasn't going all the way back into the head or whatever. So I filed it down, and it still wouldn't work. So I gave up on it, but that was not one of my best investments for the boat. But this year, I upgraded to a Suzuki 4-horse, and I know it's only supposed to have a 3, but the reason I went with the 4 is because of it has reverse, and I did want that little bit of extra speed. But I had to make a little plate to put behind it. It's a 1/2-inch piece of plywood, and then I've added another 1.5 inches to the bottom just to kick it out, because when I first put it on, it was pushing the lip up, so I kicked it out a little bit, hoping that it would keep the lip from bending. But like I said, I also flex sealed it really well, so I'm hoping that I won't have any problems. And this year I got me a Scotty arm, for my transducer. And the reason I chose this one is because this rod holder actually works with the other ones that I have. So if I did want to have a rod back here, I could. And I also got this new light I seen, and my son wanted to do some catfishing, so I figured what the heck, we'd give it a shot. Couldn't hurt. But this year, I put on a bilge pump because, like I said, I did take on a lot of water, but I got two of those little straps I made for it. And then, like I said, I got connections for my fish finder right here. I was thinking about getting a little battery box for that, but haven't decided yet. But I strapped down my fire extinguisher. The only thing that isn't on here permanently now is the lights, all the lights. But I had got 3 lights like this. I got 2 in the front and then 1 back here. This one's mainly just early morning, or if we do decide to do some night fishing, you got lights for, there's 3 different ones. But I put my fish finder on here permanently. Put these rod holders in. Oh, this is a good one. I made myself a selfie stick holder so I can make a video on the water. And put some rope in the front for just to dock it. And I added this too. For my little anchor. It helps. I don't know how that's going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. And this year, last year, like I said, I had everything in here with industrial strength tape and everything. But I had a yoga mat down, and the reason I really did it was, well, noise reduction, but on top of that, just to keep the wires covered in the boat. But that's why. I had the industrial strength Velcro on it, and once it got wet, it was just a pain in the neck. And I figured this way it's easier to clean too. I just got a little mat, and it fit right in here perfect. But you might be able to see, yeah, see, I just had the Velcro in there. But this year I figured I'm just gonna put this mat in the bottom, and that way, if it gets dirty or anything, I can shake the mat out, put it back in, vacuum it out, whatever I need to do. And I also added a backpack permanently to this seat. And I just cut it and got it on there. But got a little first aid kit, my scale, and got some little scissors attached to it. Come in handy. And then I got my net on this side. Like I said, the reason that I did that is just because having the net out and up like that was just in the wind, it was blowing me around. But that's why I put this anchor trolley on there too. I'm hoping that now I'll be a little more stable, or at least can position the boat how I want it. But we'll see. And I got these little straps to strap my rods down. So, but this way I can keep everything that I need on the boat. I ain't got to worry about forgetting anything. Hopefully, anyway. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's my Sundolphin Sportsman. Tight lines, fellas.